There once was a man who had heard God's voice, who once walked in the Spirit, who once ruled by divine command, but now the throne was cold, the heavens were silent, and Saul was alone. When Saul first became king, he was humble, chosen, and anointed by the prophet Samuel. He had God's voice in his ear and the Spirit of the Lord rushing upon him. But pride crept in, disobedience followed, and Saul stopped listening until God stopped speaking. When Saul defied God's commands and offered unlawful sacrifices, when he spared King Agag instead of obeying God's judgment, the Lord rejected him as king, and the Spirit of the Lord departed from him. Samuel stopped visiting. Dreams gave no answers. The Urim, sacred stones used by priests to discern God's will, gave nothing. Saul inquired of the Lord, but the Lord did not answer him, not by dreams or by Urim or by prophets. 1 Samuel, the 28:6. The God who once spoke was now silent. So what did Saul do? He turned to the very thing he had once outlawed, a medium, a necromancer, a woman who summoned the dead. He disguised himself, crept through the night, and sought help from the darkness. "Call up Samuel for me," he said. And in that haunted moment, Samuel's spirit, by God's mysterious allowance, appeared. But the message wasn't what Saul hoped for. "The Lord has turned from you. The kingdom has been torn from your hands. And tomorrow you and your sons will die." 1 Samuel 28:16-19. God hadn't just gone silent. Judgment had already been sealed. The man who once cast out spirits was now tormented by them. The king who once heard heaven now feared death. And the one who once stood tall among Israel would soon fall on his own sword. Saul's final hours were a tragedy, not because of what he lost, but because of what he ignored for so long. This isn't just about silence, it's about consequences. When we repeatedly reject God's voice, we risk becoming deaf to him entirely. God is patient, but his warnings don't last forever. There comes a moment when grace is no longer ignored, but removed. Saul didn't fall in one day. His fall was slow, layered, and filled with ignored chances. He had the kingdom, he had the word, he had the Spirit, but he let it all slip away until even God's silence became terrifying. Don't ignore the voice of God. When God speaks, listen quickly. When he corrects, repent deeply. When he warns, change immediately. Don't let pride rob you of his presence. Don't let stubbornness cost you your calling. God's silence isn't weakness, it's judgment withheld. And when he no longer answers, it means the window has closed.